Let all cats, old enough to catch their own prey, gather here beneath the podcast for a clan meeting. Welcome to Paws and Clause, a podcast where we read the Warrior Cats books in chronological order. I'm Jill, joined by my co-host and crochet ace Scout, and today we will be discussing The Prophecies Begin, Book 6, The Darkest Hour. Scout, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm moving my little fingers. I've got my yarn. I got my crochet hook. I love this moniker for me because it means two things, because I am an ace at crochet and I'm also an asexual person
who does crochet.
And I did choose it. I'm making it because I'm making an ace blanket.
Exactly, and then I picked it because of the ace blanket.
I love this, and we have both been doing our yarn crafts lately because as I speak to you right this moment, you are knitting.
I am. I've got to do it so that I don't start getting up and walking in the middle of the recording.
We've been in our granny eras.
Yes, definitely, for sure.
Which I love for us.
Yeah, just before we started recording, I was showing off to Scout a pair of fingerless gloves I made on Friday and Saturday.
Hell yeah, they're so cool.
And basically I'm doing this pattern on this this particular piece right now. I have to do 14 inches of the same pattern, so it's testing me.
It's a little test that the gods of knitting have given you.
I really like when there's variance to a pattern. If I'm doing the same thing over and over again, I get tired very quickly.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
It's that ADHD. But so how have things been since we've last recorded?
Things have been good. How is the prey running all around?
The prey is running decently. We ordered some pasta tonight.
Pasta?
I got a pesto pasta with penne.
A pesto pasta with penne?
Yeah. And then tiramisu for dessert.
Tiramisu.
What about you?
Sorry, I don't know why me saying tiramisu really got me.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I was very brave this weekend, by which I mean I did meal planning for this coming week.
Oh, nice.
It's so hard to form the habit, but when I do meal planning, it makes my life so much better. Just for me, for me personally, it gets to the time of day when I have to start thinking about food and I'm like, I don't got any decision making left in me. I don't want to think about what I'm going to make. I could make something most of the time, but if I don't have an idea of what I'm going to make, then that is just a whole other blockade in my brain. So one of my goals this year is to get into that a little more. So I've got sort of a amorphous plan for my lunches, meaning that I have an idea of what days will be leftovers versus what days will be, me making something for lunch. And I've got all of the various dinners planned out.
Nice.
Some of which I will be making, some of which my mother or father will be making. But Ma and I worked it out together and got that on the fridge, and that's nice. And
hell yeah.
Then yesterday I made cheddar broccoli soup for lunch.
Oh, I love cheddar broccoli soup.
It was a new recipe, a new version of the soup that I made. It was really, really nice, really easy. Used a roux. And then what was it? Oh, and we had half a loaf of beer bread in the freezer, so we warmed that up to have with it.
Fuck, dude, that sounds so good.
It was really good. It was like a dark beer bread because my dad made it. He used a Guinness in it, and then I made Palak Paneer for dinner. My dad made naan. Palak Paneer, if listeners don't know, is a delicious Indian dish that is like a curried spinach with paneer in it, which is a kind of Indian cheese that It's kind
I
of,
love it.
It's just so good. It's like, what if the flavor of ricotta was the texture of mozzarella?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's so good.
And it's so nice. It's just like this nice mild white cheese, and you got that with like a curried spinach, like a pureed spinach thing, and then you dip the naan in it, and it's so tasty.
Oh, that sounds so delicious. Yeah, I have unfortunately not had the spoons lately to do a lot of cooking, but I did make spaghetti and meatballs this week, and that was really yummy.
We love a spaghetti and meatball moment.
I just really love a pasta moment.
I love a pasta moment.
Always craving it.
Always craving pasta. Yeah, I mean, most of the last year or so have been me not having the spoons to make food, to be fair, but I am enjoying the current like resurgence of my ability to do some cooking lately.
Yeah.
It's nice to embrace it.
It is. Cooking is fun.
I've discovered recently that there is a very specific piece that I find if I am like cooking a meal, but I also have my noise canceling headphones on, and I've just like got a zone going where I'm like listening to a podcast or watching an episode of Dimension 20 or some shit. And I have that on while I'm like chopping all my little vegetables and sauteing all my ingredients and my ingredients. And it's nice.
Yeah, I love that for you. I'm so happy. I like it when people are able to cook. I like food.
I like food. I like cooking. I'm the person in most friend groups where I'm always like, when somebody's like, I hate cooking, I'm like, oh,
but I like it. Yeah, like I really enjoy it. I like it especially when I'm like cooking for people.
Yeah.
Speaking of altruism,
nice. Good
segue.
Good
I did it. So I figured we could just kind of gloss over a few things in our prey running segment today. There's been some news that Eric shared with me, even though I already knew it. I was like, oh yeah, I heard about that. And he's like, I expected you to be more excited. And I would like to talk about some recent news that came up.
Yeah.
Which is the announcement of an official Warrior Cats animation series and/or movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first thing that I am confused about by it is the fact that they just sort of say like animation project. I'm like, that's great. What do you mean?
Yeah. So that was confusing. That's one of the things that made me like, is this real?
Is this actually going to happen? Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too is like when my lovely husband Eric pointed it out to me, he was like, first he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm getting Warrior Cats TikToks now. I don't even interact with any of it. I'm like, that's too bad. Guess you're just gonna have to enjoy it. And then he showed me the one from the official Warrior Cats TikTok. And I was like, oh yeah, I heard about that. And he's like, and you're not excited? I'm like, this is like the 5th time they've said that there's gonna be an animated Warriors project.
That's so true.
It's never gonna fucking happen, guys. Literally, it's never gonna happen. Like, I don't believe it until I see it, because it has been like a thing for years.
There's always rumors about it. There's always supposedly deals.
I'm 90% sure there was a deal at one point. Like, there have been deals in the past, and like, yeah, sure, this new company that is doing it, I think Tencent, they did like Arcane, which got a lot of popularity. So like, you know, they're like popular. They're in good graces right now, but like, man, I'm not gonna be excited about it until I have like test animations or concept art.
Yeah, there's gotta be something. Yeah,
like we can't just have words. It's gotta be like, I gotta see proof. Does that make me a bad fan? I don't think so.
No. Yeah, the basis here is what it says is in collaboration with Kulabi, Tencent Video will work with the original characters and storylines to create animated adaptations for audiences across the globe. This will be the first authorized official animation of Warrior Cats, which we know the fans have been requesting for many years. Animated adaptations is so vague. Like, I feel like they sold the rights, which is perfectly fine, and I'm excited for them, and I hope that we do see something from it, and I hope that it's really sick. But
yeah,
I'm definitely hedging my bets.
It almost gives like Quibi vibes. Like, we're gonna have like a bunch of 60-second animations.
Yeah, it does feel like it's going to be some sort of like YouTube short form video series.
Oh my fucking god, yeah. Like full on like just 10-minute TikToks.
Or like they make like the fucking Angry Birds people made that Angry Birds TikTok of the red Angry Bird doing Smash or Pass.
I'm sorry, what?
Wait, have you not seen that video? Oh,
no.
Shit. Okay, hold on. Angry Birds Smash or Pass TikTok. I'm Googling this. On April 20th, 2023, the official Angry Birds TikTok page posted a video where Red from Angry Birds plays Smash or Pass with a variety of video game characters, garnering over 3.2 million views in 3 days, shown below. Does this video work? Yes. Okay, so I can send this page to you.
Cool. I hate that this exists.
It's so funny, though. The thing is, it's actually very good.
Let me go watch this. Oh, Lord help me.
Smash or pass. Let's go. Smash. Pass. Smash. Pass. He cries too much.
I can't believe the red bird from Angry Birds is canonically bisexual. And into Steve from Minecraft.
The immediate smash on Steve from Minecraft is really genuinely funny. Anyways, I think about this TikTok all the time. I also love that the caption is "Any thoughts or violent reactions?"
Violent reactions.
Anyways, what I'm saying is, what if the animated adaptations were like Gray Stripe doing Smash or Pass on TikTok?
Fuck, that would be so funny.
It would be really funny.
You know they would put Fireheart in there.
And he would have to
Smash. He would immediately say Smash.
Immediate Smash.
Immediate Smash. Yeah, so who knows? I remain cautiously optimistic, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up.
Yeah.
But if you are excited, I'm glad you have those feelings, and I support you in them.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm very much like I'm in the that's nice. I'm in like the are you winning son? That's nice.
Are you winning son?
Are you animating son?
Yeah. Well, and animation's just been such a fraught industry lately that I have some worries. But that is a concern for a different podcast. One we are not going to start because I do not want to put that energy of me just ranting out into the world.
You want to do some quizzes instead?
Let's definitely do some quizzes instead. We have 2 quizzes this week.
So our first quiz that you found for us today is how well do you know The Darkest Hour?
I would really hope that I know it well, considering I read it in like 2 hours this morning, but
yeah,
who knows?
Oh shit, I'm already stuck.
Fuck. Alright, I got 5 out of 6. Oh, I almost picked that one, but I thought it was different.
I got 6 out of 6.
The one I got wrong was which cat gave Fireheart a life for loyalty.
That one was tricky because
it was tough.
Yeah, because Silverstream, I think specifically gives him a life for like loyalty to the cats that he loves, which is not the same as just like a life for loyalty. So that's both why I think it's a tough one and why I kind of remembered it.
Good point. But I got all the other ones right. So
yeah, I got everything right.
So our other one is how well do we know Tiger Clan, which, dear listeners, you will find out who they are in just a minute. All right, I got 5 out of 6 on this one as well.
All right, I'm a little slow. How fucking long did it last? I don't know. Less than a moon? It felt like less than a moon. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this whole book, as I was reading it, I was like, I think this book takes place over the span of like a week.
It takes place over a very short span of time.
Yeah, it is not a long time at all.
Yeah, the question that we were stuck on is which of these cats was not a member of Tiger Clan?
And all of them weren't really members.
All of them were like dissenters, like technical or like Misty
or in
Foot
the background. They're only in it because
they happen to be part of those two clans. Like Misty Foot and Featherpaw are both listed as cats that were in Tiger Clan.
When they were literally captives.
They were in Tiger Clan for one day and then they were captives, but okay. And then Little Cloud was also there. And it's like, okay, but Little Cloud is Running Nose's apprentice. And I don't think they were ever like even over in River Clan territory.
Well, and Rowan Claw was never showed to be like a member of it.
Right. Rowan Claw just is there because, again, a Shadow Clan cat.
Yeah. That was a stupid question.
Very silly question.
But whatever. We got it right. We got a decent enough score.
Yeah. 5 out of 6 for you on
Ain't
both
bad.
of those. 6 out of 6 for me on both of those.
Scout's so smart.
I'm just sometimes I got it. You know, this makes up for the time that I got like a 3 out of 7 or something on something. I really messed
that.
up.
We don't talk about that. Don't worry.
Don't worry about it. And then, the last thing I think we want to touch on before we get into the summary. This is a long sharing tugs.
It is.
This is a long how's the prey running. We got an energy going tonight.
We do.
And I love it. But I hope everybody who's listening is enjoying themselves. Last thing here is the Polish cover. Once again, it's just so good.
Yeah, we've got like this really cool portrait of Scourge in the front, and his eyes are so blue.
They're so blue.
He's got them James McAvoy baby blues going on. And then the like full version of it has battle that we're going to talk about, and it looks so desolate. It is just such a cool cover.
It's such a fun cover. There's like this these real messed up houses in the background and bones on the ground and cats
it looks
fighting.
so post-apocalyptic. It's so cool.
It does. Yeah, it's good time.
Good times. Well, let's get into some more good times. And why don't I tell you guys about what happens in this book? Because it fucked.
It fucked. Yeah. Take us through story time.
The prologue shows us a time in the recent past. Tiger Star and Boulder head to Two-Leg Place to meet with a cat who rules a strange clan unlike those of the forest. This cat, who Tiger Star underestimates, is Scourge, the leader of Blood Clan. In our main story, Fireheart, Mistyfoot, and Stonefur return Bluestar's body to the ThunderClan camp. He allows them to stay and share tongues with their mother, but the clan discovers their presence when they return from their hiding places, and their secret is revealed to the clan. With the help of Whitestorm, Fireheart manages to calm ThunderClan, and the 2 River Clan warriors leave. That night, Fireheart must go to the Moonstone to receive his 9 lives, and he is reunited with several cats who have died through the series thus far. However, his ceremony is interrupted with a vision of a hill of bones bleeding, and a prophecy. 4 will become 2, Lion and Tiger will meet in battle, and blood will rule the forest. Firestar, upon returning to the clan, names Whitestorm as his deputy, and he begins to settle into the life of a leader. However, Tiger Star is still out there, and Firestar has enemies within his own clan. When Sorrelkit catches Darkstripe meeting with Blackfoot in secret, the warrior feeds her death berries in an attempt to silence her. When his treachery is discovered, the warrior is exiled and goes to join Tiger Star. At the next gathering, Tiger Star's plan is revealed. His collaboration with the River Clan to create Tiger Clan, and his proposal to Wind Clan and Thunder Clan to join him, is met with strong opposition. Due to a storm, the gathering ends early, and ThunderClan returns home, worried about their future. After this news, Graystripe worries about his kits in RiverClan, and he and Firestar go to check on them. Along the way, Ravenpaw, who had come to pay his respects to Bluestar, joins them. They discover the truth of Tiger Clan's brutality. Stonefur is ordered to kill Stormpaw and Featherpaw to prove his loyalty. When the warrior refuses, Darkstripe and Blackfoot kill him. As the crowd disperses, the three friends rescue Stormpaw, Featherpaw, and Mistyfoot, who come to stay in ThunderClan for safety. That same day, WindClan comes to ThunderClan for help. Tigerstar has murdered Gorsepaw to frighten the clan into submission. They resolve not to join with TigerClan and to prove their strength together on the deadline Tigerstar gave. At this meeting, Tigerstar introduces BloodClan and his ally Scourge. Firestar tries to speak to the gathered cats about Tigerstar's treachery and tries to convince Scourge to leave. It does not work, and when Tigerstar tries to order the BloodClan cats to attack, they refuse. His rage leads him to attack Scourge as a show of power, and he is killed with a single blow that takes all 9 of his lives in succession. The clans flee, and all 4 become Lion Clan, all coming together to drive BloodClan from the forest. In the ensuing battle, the clans suffer several deaths. Notably, Whitestorm is killed by Bone, the deputy of BloodClan, and is immediately avenged by several apprentices. On his deathbed, he tells Firestar to name Graystripe as his deputy, which is done then in the heat of battle. Firestar faces down with Scourge, who manages to land a killing blow and take Firestar's first life. When he is revived by StarClan, he is able to turn the tide and kill Scourge in turn. The BloodClan cats flee, chased down by WindClan. And in the aftermath, the clans disband and look towards the future. This book fucking rules.
This book is so fun and good.
It's such a good time. Also, the pacing of this book
is good.
I know that is a thing that we complain about a lot with the Warriors books.
Mm-hmm.
The pacing in this book is fantastic. It, like I said, I feel like it just takes place over the span of like less than a month, maybe even just a couple of weeks or so.
Mm-hmm. It's really tight.
Really tight. We get so much happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we get a lot of like good character development from that.
Definitely.
Like getting to sit with these characters for a little bit. You know, one of the things I didn't mention was the whole, Firestar still struggling to like really accept Bramblepaw, and that leads to, you know, like other cats in the clan are necessarily not so trusting of Tigerstar's kits, and Tawnypaw fully leaves the clan.
Yeah, Tawnypaw defects to go join Shadow Clan, which is, I remember being so shocked by that as a child.
Know.
I remember being scandalized.
And her reasoning isn't even that like she believes in what her father is doing, it's that she wants to be somewhere that she's going to be accepted.
Yeah,
which is just so sad.
It's so sad, but also so valid in this instance because she was suffering from a lot of, you know, the weight of her father's past in ThunderClan. It's interesting. It's so interesting to see how Tigerstar's 2 kits deal with those, with like him and the troubles that they face because of being his children in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, the quiet scenes of Firestar walking with Bramblepaw in the snowy forest at the top of this book are truly some of my favorites in this series.
It's so good. There's like one where it starts to snow and Bramblepaw has never seen snow before, and so he's like he's like, what in the world is this? And Firestar's just like, oh, it's snow, it'll cover the whole forest. And he's like, really? He's like, yeah, it's really thick. And then as it keeps coming down, Bramblepaw is just like purring and meowing and like jumping up trying to catch snowflakes. And it's
he's playing with the snowflakes.
It's so cute. And Firestar's like, man, I wonder if Tiger Star was ever like this. There's so much sympathy that Firestar finds for Tiger Star in this book. And I think that works so well with the decision that was made to not have Firestar be the one that kills Tiger Star.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he reacts. Because I feel like this book is really where we find like Firestar finds like that. Because up until this point, for Firestar, he's just been like, oh, this dude's just like fully evil.
Right.
But in this book, he starts to realize he's like, no, I can see where he went wrong. Like, I don't agree with him at all, but like, I see what led him down this road, and I see like the cat he could have been.
Mm-hmm. There's so much of Firestar having a very specific sympathy for everything that Tiger Star lost because he gained so much through his ambition, right? Like, and I think that's a really nice bit of the narrative.
But yeah, there's just a lot of really good scenes in this book. Like,
there's a lot of good scenes. There's a lot of good character scenes. We get like Graystripe coming up to Firestar and being like, don't, I know that you can't make me your deputy right now. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, he's like, I know, like, we're best friends and like people are gonna expect you to do that, but like I also know that I still have a long way to go before I can earn that. And then the fact that Whitestorm is the one who's like, no, like he's always meant to be the one who is going to be your deputy.
Yeah,
it
that
just
scene at
hits.
the end is, ooh.
Oh, I feel like we talked about this before. I love the relationship between leaders and their deputies. I feel like it is just such a good, strong bond.
Yes.
And the way... I can't talk about this too much because I'm gonna start talking about spoilers for the next
I know
series.
we have to go kind of in order for this one.
I have a lot of feelings about Graystripe. And I will talk about those feelings when it comes time.
We're gonna get there. For now, should we do 9 Lives, or do you have anything else before
oh my god, let's
Lives?
talk about it. Because this is technically the first 9 Lives ceremony that anyone would have seen.
Yeah, this was the first one that was written and published. Fucking, it whips. Cherith.
It's so good.
Cherith went off. I'm going to read this paragraph that sort of starts it when Fireheart is first sort of being introduced into StarClan for this. It's so good.
That's the exact part I wanted to also read.
It's so good.
I was like, oh my god, we have to read this one out.
It's so good. And the cats of StarClan came stalking down the sky. Frost sparkled at their paws and glittered in their eyes. Their pelts were white flame. They carried the scent of ice and fire and the wild places of the night.
Like, come on.
Let's fucking go.
It's so good. Like, and I noticed this too in this book. There's a lot of really good evocative diction and imagery.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the literature popped off in this one.
The literature. Yeah, I agree. It's so good. Like, just, you can see it so vividly in your mind.
Yeah, that whole scene lives rent-free.
Yeah, it's so good. And
it is beautiful, and it is so ethereal, and like, it is spiritual. Like, it is a religious like thing. It is very reverent in the way it is described, but reverent in the like almost in the fear of God kind of way.
Yeah, there's like a very dreamy, swimmy quality to it too, because nobody will say anything to him outside of the words that they have to say as part of the ceremony. So like he has questions for these dead cats that he's seeing in StarClan, some for the first time, and like none of them can answer him. Instead, they just give him these lives. Yeah, it's good.
When he gets his first life, it is painful. And I know like this is something that we've talked about before, but like it is so visceral and painful. And he literally is like, how am I going to bear it? And it is so good. It's like, yeah, this is not a reward. This is a duty and a responsibility. And they do a really good job of like hammering that home in this book, I feel. Because he remarks at some point, he's like, everybody expects me to be like wise beyond my years now. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But he is like constantly reassured that like, as long as you are doing what is best for the cats that you love, like it's gonna be okay. It's so good.
It's so good.
I noticed your hate directed at Spotted Leaf comment. I fully agree. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
She does give him a life, and he does have a moment where he's like, oh, it's okay that I love Sandstorm. I'm not betraying my feelings for Spotted Leaf. And I'm like, whatever.
I know. Yeah. So as I was reading this and I was thinking about, and I was also listening back to some of our recent episodes. The most recent episode that was released at this point was Rising Storm. And in that episode, I also talked a little bit about how weird all of the Fireheart loving Spotted Leaf stuff feels. And so I was thinking about that because I had written another note about that when I was reading this book, and then that came out and I was sort of like ruminating on those feelings. I was like, I bet this is me, supposing a lot about people, but I can see, like we've talked in the past about a lot of hate being directed at Spotted Leaf. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of that hate comes from a place of people, like a misplaced hate going towards Spotted Leaf instead of at the thing that people are really sensing, which is how weird every scene is where Fireheart talks about loving Spotted Leaf. Like how out of place and how out of...
How shoehorned in it really is.
Right. How like every time it just doesn't feel natural, even to the scene that it is like encased in, like it takes you out of it. And so I could totally see like being a tween and not having the vocabulary or the like the media literacy to identify it being like an author or fiction side problem, and instead directing it at the character.
Yeah, it seems less of like people being concerned that it is a retcon, when I think that is in fact the reason why people hate it so much. It's just misplaced towards the character rather than the fact that they kind of retconned it in there.
Yeah. It's just,
because it feels so weird.
It just always makes it always makes the books feel worse to me.
Yeah.
There's no time when I've been like, this is adding something positive to the narrative for me. So interesting.
Yeah.
It's so weird because I'm also the person who multiple times on this show even have been like, I am not immune to like the heteronormative pairings that pop up in fiction. If you put a man and a woman next to each other and the book says that they love each other, it's not out of the realm of possibility for me to just accept that.
Right.
But so even when I have been the person who's like, I kind of really thought that, Frogleap and Leopard Fur would have been like nice. And I sort of feel like that would have been a nice thing. Or I think that I wish that Oakheart had come to live in ThunderClan with Blue Star. That even me with those takes is like, Spotted Leaf and Firestar does not feel right, is like an indicator of how weird it is.
Yeah. Scout's hetero bullshit meter going off.
Yeah, even me, and my hetero bullshit meter has always been very low. I'm not super tuned into that stuff. when people point it out to me, I'm like, oh yeah, now that you say that, that makes sense. But a lot of times I'm just like, yeah, I'm maybe it's being ace. I'm like, this is relationships.
Yeah. It could be. You never know.
This is attraction. This is what people say, this is attraction. So this is attraction to me. In like this particular way. But
it does feel weird.
But even with that, yeah, the spotted leaf stuff just feels so weird. And we're gonna get more of it once we get to Firestar's quest. Don't worry about it.
God.
It's fine.
It's fine. We don't need to think about it. You want to talk about Brackenfur, babe?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little Brackenfur corner. I'm saying it here, I did not choose Brackenfur as my warrior cat of the week, but because I did not choose him as my warrior cat of the week, I am doing a little like Scouts mini warrior cat of the week that is just about Brackenfur. This is my Brackenfur corner.
The Brackenfur zone.
I'm in the Brackenfur zone. He's my little Blorbito, okay? He's got these scenes, the Sorrel Kit scenes when he feels responsible for Sorrel Kit getting poisoned because Darkstripe slipped away from him. Like the scene where Firestar gives him like the little mini quest, essentially like the little mini mission of keeping an eye on Darkstripe, and he takes it so seriously when he is really affected by Tawny Paw's defection and feels bad about that because she was his apprentice. There's just so many little moments in this book of like just like Brackenfur is so much a character who slips into the background for the most part, but because I'm so tuned in, I'm so Brackenfur pilled, I notice all of these little things. There's I don't remember exactly what the line is, but when everybody's charging into battle at the end, Fireheart is thinking about Brackenfur charging in and says, like, you know, he is so stoic and loyal. And I'm like, yeah, that's just my little guy.
Yeah, I was literally just trying to find, because there's a moment where he, like, looks at every cat that is beside him, and he's, like, thinking about how important each of them are to him. Hold on.
Yeah. For Brackenfur is listed even before Whitestorm, I think.
Yeah. So here it is. His heart swelled with pride as his gaze traveled over each one. Sandstorm, his beloved. Graystripe, the truest friend any cat ever had. Brackenfur, sensible and loyal. Whitestorm, his wise deputy. Thornclaw, the newest warrior of ThunderClan, looking tense and eager at the prospect of his first battle. Longtail, who had discovered at last where his heart lay. Frostfur and Mousefur, a formidable pair of she-cats. Dustpelt, reserved but true-hearted, and his apprentice Ashpaw. Firestar's own apprentice Bramblepaw, aglow in his amber eyes and his fur bristling, and Cloudtail, wayward but committed to his clan, with Brightheart, the cat he had brought back from the brink of death. Like, man, this book means so much to me. It's so good.
This book owns, okay?
I can't believe I forgot to, so I didn't put this in the summary, because I figured we would want to just, like, talk about it. But, you know, I did mention the Brightheart renaming happens in this book.
I forgot that that's at the top of this book. Oh, wow, this book is good.
Yeah, so, you know, Firestar tells Thornpaw, like, hey, you know, I really want to, like, do right by you. Like, it is beyond time that you were made a warrior. And he's like, I just really wish that Brightpaw and Swiftpaw could be there with me. And there's, you know, mention of, like, giving who was then Lost Face a new name, because, you know, some of the elders had gotten their names changed. So Fireheart goes to talk to them, and they tell him the words that he must speak. And he gives Brightheart her new name. And then he goes to Cloudtail afterwards. He's like, I hope that satisfies you. Like, I hope I did a good job picking your girlfriend's new name.
I know. Oh,
it's so cute. Like, it's so funny to me to like have him go up to Cloudtail and be like, did I do a good job, nephew? Like, are you happy?
He loves his nephew so much, even though he drives him crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
All of the scenes of Cloudtail and Brightheart working together to work on Brightheart's battle moves are great too. They get me so hyped. They talk so much about how to keep like her enemies from utilizing her bad side, where she's blind on that side, and I'm sure her hearing is fucked up in that ear too.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about how she starts like doing this serpentine bobbing and weaving, and like it's just really fast and getting around her enemies. It's so good. It just gets me like so. I fucking love Brightheart so much.
Yeah, she is such a good character.
She's such a good character.
And I love her and Cloudtail together. Like, I think that ship is just so...
It's so good.
So
it's one of my
good.
favorites.
Yeah, like, I don't have much to say other than, like, what a superior ship.
Truly one of the best. One of the best in the series.
Yeah.
We're gonna see them for a long time. We're gonna keep seeing a lot more of them.
I think there's actually a book, one of the books that's coming up for us is centered on them.
Yeah, I think that there is just a really recently released graphic novel that I had to add to our docket. I had to sneak it in there because it came out between when I had originally laid out our schedule.
Our framework.
Yeah, we had to add it to the Firestar's Quest episode. We have A Thief and Thunder Clan, I believe, is about Cloudtail and Brightheart. I love them.
I love them so much. I want to talk about the thing you sent me this week.
Oh my god. It untethered me from time. Like reading it's like it astral projected me out of my body. Just something that really hits different to read in 2024 after this was released 20 years ago. This was released in 2004. There is a line where Tiger Star says, "I have received the blessing of our warrior ancestors most of all, because it was my task to restore the clan and make it great again." I wanted to die. I was like shriveled up inside of my body.
So Scout sent me this. What was it, Monday?
I think so.
Monday, while I was on a voice call with two of our good friends, Erin and Julia, and my husband, and Scout messages me this, and I make everybody pause. And I say, "Guys, I need you to listen to this." And I read this out to them. Every one of them, all three of them, just go, "Ooh." Like... Obviously, it was not intentional because that was, 20 fucking years ago. But, whoo boy.
Oh, my God.
Awkward.
Hits different in 2024. Oh, Tiger Star is truly not beating the allegations.
No. I mean, we've had discussions of how he feels very, very Republican, so...
Yeah. He just keeps becoming more and more Republican.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about how, like, it's so weird that in this book, the person who's trying to, like, bring everybody into one unified group and, like, destroy the concept of borders and stuff is actually doing the Republican thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, it's really kind of weird how, like, the heroes are saying, no, we got to keep everybody separate. But, like, that's how clans are.
Yeah.
Which I think is, like, part of an interesting dichotomy with these books, and something that we've talked a lot about, like, when we were back in Dawn of the Clans, about how, like, there's a lot of things that are great about having the 4 or 5 or 6 clans, if you count Star Clan and Sky Clan. Sky Clan.
I do want to talk about that.
Yeah, Sky Clan, you're out there.
There is a moment where I was like, interesting.
I think it might actually be something that they come back to in Firestar's Quest. I think, like, that might be a thing in Firestar's Quest that Blue Star's like, remember when I said this?
I actually meant this.
Anyway, Sky Clan, we love you.
We do love you, Sky Clan. You're my favorite clan.
I got distracted thinking about Sky Clan. I can't remember what my point was. But Tiger Star's a Republican.
Yep, 100%.
He's just so much a Republican, and it's so weird.
Yeah.
I can't believe he said make the clan great again. I'm gonna
Yeah.
I can't believe this happened. Oh no. Okay. Do you have any other things before Gorsepaw?
No, I'm just sad about Gorsepaw. I really liked him. Like, I know he was, like, the most background of background characters.
Yeah.
But, like, man,
I know. I just
he
wanted
didn't deserve that shit.
He didn't. I wanted to talk about this a little bit because I was so like it's so effective to me, the scene where we see that Gorsepaw has been killed by Tiger Star, and we have the whole flashback to Firestar and Greystripe going and getting WindClan and bringing them back to their territory, and Firestar as a young warrior as Fireheart carrying Gorsepaw as a tiny kit in his mouth across the moors.
And just, like, remembering how, like, he really did have to, like, kind of argue with Morningflower to, like, it's okay, I'm, like, I will take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then for this to happen, just breaks my heart.
It's awful. There's even a line in there that is like something along the lines of, like, how could they have gone through all of that just for it to end like this?
Yes.
It's so rough. Really, really, really effective, really, really heartbreaking to see Gorsepaw die like that.
He didn't deserve it.
He didn't deserve it. My next bullet point is the Tiger Star scene, but
oh baby, please, can we get into it?
Yeah, do you want to talk? I wanted to hear your thoughts about Leopard Star's honor too. Do you think that should go before?
I think so, yeah. Let's talk about that first. So I did message Scout earlier today when I finished reading this book, saying that this made me even more disappointed in Leopard Star's honor, specifically because for two reasons. One, the section that overlaps with this book in Leopard Star's honor is so poorly edited. And it is so clear, like, how poorly edited it is based on, like, how this book goes. So that's the first thing, is just, like, extra disappointment in the way it was formatted.
Yeah.
But also, like, I know Tiger Clan didn't exist for too long, but it really doesn't feel like Leopard Star's honor showed what it was like in Tiger Clan.
Right.
And I feel like that would have been a prime opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I was really disappointed that we didn't have more time with that. So, I think I even said in that episode that I was hoping that it would be more about that specific part of the tale.
Exactly. Well, and the thing is, too, like, everybody's like, oh my god, the Bone Hill. Like, that thing didn't just spring up overnight. Like, no. How did they fucking manage that? And, you know, I don't know. It just made me disappointed in the way that Leopard Star's honor was handled.
Yeah. Even with the Bone Hill and Leopard Star's honor, they sort of had a scene about sort of the origins of the Bone Hill. Yeah. And it was so lackluster. It was Tiger Star just being like, this is so that we remember that we have prey or whatever.
Yeah, but even then, it's like they don't notice it until it's already a pretty substantial thing. I don't know. It just feels like there was more that could have been done in that book, so that's just my little tiny soapbox I wanted to get on.
Yeah, I also feel like there's scenes that we saw from both perspectives and just like across the board, unequivocally, all of them are better in Darkest Hour than the versions that we saw in Leopard Star's honor.
Agree. Like the death scene, which I would love to talk about.
I want to hear like your history with this, because almost everybody who's ever read these books has a history with this specific scene.
That's exactly what I was going to start off with. I was like, if you ever read or knew anything about warriors, like, this is the scene that you know about, because this is the most masterful piece of like showing character and subverting expectations and just absolute fucking brutality in these books. I think it is so well done. And for it is years. I don't think I've ever come across a method of death in a book that has seemed more violent and horrifying to go through than Tiger Star's death.
It's really effective and really affecting.
Yeah, I mean, hell, so, as we know, I like to roast Eric for this. Every time I'll tell him about something that's going on in these cat books, he'll be like, okay, yeah, he'll roll his eyes. I told him about the Tiger Star death scene, and he was like, oh my god. It is truly an incredible scene because it happens so fast.
It happens
and it's
so fast and
horrible. I think the horror and the violence in it comes from what is not explained because it gives you a sense of like Firestar cannot bear to like watch this happen.
Yes.
But like the fact that he's like, oh, they hear his screams and then there's quiet. It's okay. He'll come back up. And then he screams again because he's dying again.
The way he just starts screaming again, he doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Like he cannot say anything. To lay this out in case there's folks, I know there's some folks that listen that don't actually ever read the books or anything. Shout out to you guys. I do that with most other podcasts that I listen to that are media consumption podcasts. I love you. I respect you. Yeah,
you're a real one. I do the same thing with video essays all the time. Like there is no judgment here.
No. But to give you a sense of like what this scene is, it is Tiger Star trying to command Scourge and the Cats of Blood Clan to attack the combined forces of Wind Clan and Thunder Clan, and Scourge just like ices him the fuck out. It's just like they take orders from me. They don't take orders from you. And Tiger Star tries to go and attack Scourge. And Scourge, who's got dog teeth on his claws, takes one swipe at Tiger Star, and there's no delicate way to put it. He slices him from throat down to the tail, is what it says in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And this wound is so drastic and so intense that even 9 lives given to him by StarClan cannot save Tiger Star from bleeding out and dying in 4 trees in this clearing.
Yeah. Well, and Scourge just watches.
He just sits there and watches, man.
It's horrifying. Well, and I think, and as I wanted to make sure I put this in the bit about the prologue, like from the beginning, Tiger Star underestimates Scourge.
Absolutely.
And that foreshadowing placed at the very beginning of this book.
It's good.
So delicious.
It's good. It's tasty.
But yeah, it's the fact that even Firestar is like, he would never wish this death on anyone, not even like his literal mortal enemy. The cat, he was like, I want to kill him. I am going to kill him. This cannot end without one of us dead. It's so good.
It's so good.
Beautiful. It beautifully written in its simplicity, I think, too.
Uh-huh.
It is not over dramatic about what it looks like, but in the repetition and the silence that surrounds it, it gives it that gravity that I think it deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible death scene. I highly, highly recommend anyone who wants to go read it.
Yeah, it's so this is the scene that like permanently changed the brain chemistry of thousands upon thousands of tweens, I think.
Yeah. So I feel like, and this is a thing that Scout and I and our friend group has kind of talked about, is like, what is the piece of media that shaped your interest in everything? Like this book specifically, Darkest Hour is what got me into like writing angst and writing like violence and just absolute horror. This is what got me into horror. I am convinced is like this scene, because it
is horrific.
It is horrific, and it has never left my mind. In 20 years, I vividly can see this scene in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't have very good memory.
So you know
So
if it's in there.
It's in there.
It's in there.
It's really good. I have nothing but positive things to say about the way this scene was done. And again, like the subversion of like Firestar is so convinced he's going to be the one to kill Tiger Star. He's like so ready for it. And to have that not be like, to have a revenge story where they don't get the revenge, even though they are fully capable and ready to do so. Oh, it was so good.
It's good. And it's also, like, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but really good setup for Firestar feeling like this weird grief about it. And
yes.
And like seeing this happen and being like, this, you know, this was a pointless death. Like, he didn't need to die like this. Everything could have been so much different. I also wanted to shout out that I listened to the audio version, the audiobook version of this scene. I was listening to this while I was walking my dog this morning. And it actually rips. Shout out to, I hope I'm saying his name right. Shout out to McLeod Andrews, who has done all of the audiobook narration for, I think, everything. I think every
I'm
Warrior
pretty sure
Cats
he's done every single
piece
one
of media. He has done all of it. And he's got this great, deep, gravelly Tiger Star voice and this sort of reedy, whispery Scourge voice. And they're both just so top notch. Does a great delivery on Firestar's speech about all the things that Tiger Star has done also. Great time.
I have to find the recording of that and give that scene a listen, because I bet that fucks.
Yeah, it fucks. It's real good. And they're all of the audiobooks are available for free on Spotify if you have a Spotify account. Spotify, you're on thin ice with me. Pay people for their music, but is a good platform for like being able to get that audio real quick if you have access. He's got a weird gray stripe voice.
Oh no, I know.
It's not just Fireheart. Fireheart. It's not just that. He kind of gives Graystripe like a lisp.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, the Fireheart moaning is definitely something that I have seen on TikTok.
Yeah. Which is, I'm being torn in two. I love that audio. It's so funny. Yeah, but while we're sort of in this zone, I want to have a little Scourge discussion.
Yeah, let's talk about Scourge.
I think I said in like our first episode that when I reread this book, I was kind of like came down a little bit. Like Scourge is a little like anticlimactic for me. I'm of two minds because the Tiger Star death scene is incredible.
Right.
But then the actual like confrontation with Blood Clan later feels like
it doesn't feel as like
there's not as much weight to it in a weird way.
Yeah, I could have sworn I remembered more cats dying in that fight is the thing. But then I'm looking at the wiki and I'm like, so like nobody died.
Only Whitestorm dies. Spoilers.
Whitestorm and Darkstripe.
And
Scourge and Firestar and like a couple of unnamed cats from the other clans, like
and Bone, like some Blood Clan cats die.
Yeah.
But yeah, the actual battle with Blood Clan, like it's good. I love the dynamics of it.
Yes.
But in the end, you have this big confrontation between Tiger Star and Scourge, and then when it comes to Firestar confronting Scourge, I think that just could have been a little bit more impactful if there was more like attention, more interaction and more attention paid to like how the like we're really playing on faith in this book. We're playing a lot on like you have the power of magical 9 lives and Scourge does not have that. And I would have liked to see more. I would have liked us to have more time with reacting, like and seeing Scourge's reaction to that. But it really is like he kills Firestar the one time and then is like, "Whoa, you're alive again," and then dies.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think he was more terrifying when I was a kid, and I think that is simply because of first of all, him coming basically out of nowhere and then fucking murking Tiger Star in one hit.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, I was like, oh shit, he's like spooky scary. But like, the more you sit with it, the more you're like, okay, there's definitely like bigger threats that we've had. I mean, and I'm not saying that they should have killed off more characters in the fight, because I think the deaths that we did have were very impactful.
Mm-hmm.
But it did, reading back through it and realizing like, oh, basically everybody lived, was kind of like, then why were we all so scared?
Right, yeah.
And, I get that it's, 4 clans against 1, but like, I don't know. It just, that felt weird.
Yeah, it was interesting how there was so much description of like the Blood Clan cats just keep coming, keep coming. There's just so many of them. But then in the end, it didn't feel as though there was really all that much like life lost and all that much sacrifice.
It did not feel like the final battle, or the first battle from Dawn of the Clans.
God, it didn't feel like the first battle from Dawn of the Clans. Oof, that was fucking...
Yeah, that was a rough one, huh?
Remember that? Remember that one? That one was fucking rough, dude.
Simpler times.
Yeah, we didn't get 2 siblings dying on each other in this one. Like, killing each other and dying on each other in this fight. But we do get great scene of Bone, the giant sort of pseudo-deputy of Scourge, just being fucking beset upon by all the apprentices.
God, that scene rules.
That scene is so good. I fucking love when all the apprentices just all work together to climb on Bone and kill him. That rules.
Yeah, and they all did it because he killed Whitestorm. They're like, how the fuck dare you? That is our grandpa.
Yeah.
That's Peepaw.
That's our grandpa! How could you do that to Peepaw? This is as good a moment as I need to talk about Whitestorm's death. Whitestorm. My grandpa.
Yeah, his death hits hard.
His like last words to Firestar right before the battle, where he kind of goes into it like, I'm gonna die. Like, I think I'm gonna die. Like in more poetic and like impactful words, but basically he goes into that fight like this is probably going to be the last fight, and Firestar notices how like old he looks, how he would have a lesser cat essentially, or like a different cat would have joined the elders at this point, would not still be working as deputy.
Well, and there's also the note of like Whitestorm saying like, I really do appreciate how you trust me to be your deputy, but like I am not a cat who I could ever imagine like being a leader.
Yeah, he says,
like, Whitestorm.
He's like, I'm honored to be your deputy, but I've never thought of myself as a leader. And it's not something I see myself doing. He's so good.
Whitestorm, who is basically ThunderClan distilled, like he is the one who like reflects the group consciousness, like the general overall feelings of the group. Like he is ThunderClan to me.
He is the cat who like came to Two Leg Place to bring Rusty to the clan, like on Rusty's first day in the forest. He was there explaining the clan to Firepaw along with Graystripe. He has been this constant. He was one of the few cats that remained a close advisor to Blue Star. He was one of the only cats that Fireheart was able to share sort of the burden of Blue Star's true condition with. He has been there and been with us throughout this entire arc, and to lose him is devastating, but to have him basically choose his successor as he is dying, looking at Graystripe and saying to Firestar, Graystripe is always the one who has been destined to be your deputy. And Firestar after that looking at Graystripe in the heat of battle and going, you heard him, he chose you.
Yeah.
And saying the words to make Graystripe his deputy in front of Whitestorm's body in the middle of this roiling fight around them.
It's so good.
It's so
like,
good.
Well, and the thing that I was going to say too is Whitestorm being such a representation of ThunderClan, saying that Graystripe is going to be the new deputy and is destined to be the deputy just shows like it is a reflection of like saying, yes, Graystripe, you belong here with ThunderClan. Like you may have had that time where your loyalties were different and people, you know, maybe don't necessarily trust you anymore, but like me, the cat who basically is ThunderClan, accepts you and therefore everyone else will too.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who loves Graystripe, I have a lot of feelings about that.
Yeah, you said earlier that you had more thoughts about Graystripe. Do you have any additional thoughts about Graystripe, or was it just that?
None that I can say yet.
Oh,
it's stuff that happens in the next arc.
Ah, yes. We will see. We will see, dear listeners.
We will talk about it.
We will talk about it.
Oh, I did want to mention one thing. So this was the night before the battle when Firestar is like, I'm gonna go, like, meditate.
Yeah.
And he starts yelling at StarClan.
Yes!
And he has a dream, and all of the cats that he met during his 9 Lives ceremony, as well as Stonefur and Gorsepaw, they're all there, and he is angry at them. He is like, you rule the forest, you sent the storm, you didn't let me, like, you didn't give me the chance to stop all of this. And Blue Star's like, no, StarClan does not rule the forest. They care for every cat in the forest. We watch over them, we send omens and dreams, but the storm was no doing of ours. We watch, but we do not interfere. If we did, would you truly be free? You are not the playthings of StarClan. Now, I would like to disagree with that statement.
Mm-hmm.
As we have seen in these books before.
Yes.
But I will say, it does lead to a very powerful moment of Firestar realizing, like, oh, yeah, they don't rule the forest like we do. We are the ones who are responsible for making the change in the world. But StarClan has proven that they have their hands in a lot of pies and that they are perhaps not as distanced as they say they are. So I did just want to bring that up.
Yeah.
Just as a little, like, we're still on our StarClan hate bullshit.
Yeah, we gotta still be, StarClan, you're on thin fucking ice every day.
Fucking ice.
Every day you're on thin ice.
But I appreciate Firestar calling them out because
I love that
facts.
scene. And scene's great.
Yeah, it's really well written.
Mm-hmm.
Darkstripe dying. So when Darkstripe dies, he mentions how, like, cold and there's nothing there. So he went to the Dark Forest, right?
We will get a Darkstripe POV at some point.
Okay.
That explores that.
Interesting. All right. I just had that question because I was like, that feels very like he went to the Dark Forest vibes.
I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say, yes, you are correct, and that is something that is confirmed within the fiction at some point.
Uh-oh.
I can't remember if it's in the New Prophecy or if it's in the Power of 3, but I believe we get a dead Darkstripe POV in a prologue at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, that man is walking the place of no stars.
That man's in hell.
That man's in hell. What a whiny. I
fucking hate that bitch.
I don't know if you listened to the audio.
Oh fuck! No, I forgot to listen to that because I didn't have my headphones.
I was basically just saying that Darkstripe in this particular book, for whatever reason, I just kept like hearing his voice in my head as like a shitty little nerd voice, like, let me do it, Tiger Star.
My God, he's such a bitch. Like, he's the worst. I was kind of happy when Tiger Star called him out when Darkstripe, like, couldn't take Stonefur down. Yeah. And then he was like, no, let me do it. And Tiger Star's like, you couldn't even kill a, like, starving cat. What the fuck do you think I'm gonna let you do?
Oh, God.
He is such a spineless little pissant.
pathetic derogatory.
that moment in the battle where Firestar's like, are you loyal to no one? And he's like, nope. I'm like, okay, cool, fuck you.
Fuck you. He's literally comes into the battle and Firestar's like, oh shit, is he going to come back and fight for ThunderClan? And it's like, no, he just knocked a different Blood Clan cat away so that he could attack Firestar personally.
Yeah. I fucking hate this man.
I hate that little skink.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Little skink.
He's a little skink. I love like the power of Firestar's dead allies sort of
that was
like
pretty
coursing
dope.
through him to propel him back into battle. That's the good shit. That's that power of friendship shit. That's that found family shit. That is that shonen protagonist shit.
Oh yeah, very much.
We love it. We love it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm just excited to read more. I'm excited to continue.
I mentioned the Scout since I finished it so early today. I was like, man, I really want to just go ahead and read the books for the next one because it's 2 manga volumes and a novella. I'm like,
yeah,
I just really want to read it. And I'm like, no, you must be strong. We must stay focused.
We must stay focused.
But yeah, I really don't have much more to say about this book other than that it is one of my favorite warrior books, for sure. Like, yeah. I think the combination of Dangerous Path and Darkest Hour is such a, like, banger duo of books, and it really just does such an excellent job tying up The Prophecies Begin.
Yeah, it's good
Even
shit.
though we're technically not done with The Prophecies Begin.
Technically,
we still have some things to do. We've got some things to talk about here.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you take us to the Erin Corner, because you have something in there that I'm really thrilled about.
Yes. The Erin Corner today starts off with a little tidbit that I found in an article on the official website, that the infamous Tiger Star death at the hands of Scourge that we've talked about extensively so far in this episode was in fact not the idea of any of the Erin's Hunter themselves, but a collaborator of Vicky's by the name of Matt. This is a quote from the article as Vicky recounts it. She said, quote, "At the time, I was brainstorming storylines with a colleague named Matt. He was a bit of a maverick, and he came up with the idea that Tiger Star should be killed by a different cat, and that we should feel dismayed and saddened by his death rather than triumphant. Don't be ridiculous, I said. These are my cats. I know best, blah, blah, blah. But Matt, to his eternal credit, persisted. Let Scourge kill Tiger Star. It will be awesome. 9 lives lost all at once, with Firestar watching in horror as his brave and ambitious former clanmate is torn limb from limb. What will happen to the clans now? This was never written in the stars." And you know what? Matt was right. Best death ever.
Matt, if you're listening, I owe you my whole fucking life. I will make you whatever dessert you want. Matt, listen to me. You're my fucking hero.
Matt, you did it to us. Thank you so much, Matt.
Matt, you're a real one.
You're a real one, Matt. Woo! Thank you, Matt.
Whew.
Thank you, random colleague named Matt.
Yeah, wow.
Mm-hmm. I love that anecdote so much. I love that it's just some dude named Matt who was like, you know what would be great?
and he was right.
He was right.
He was right. Oh, man.
That's good. I love that. I was so excited when I found that.
Yeah, that's fucking great. I love this.
I love that. I love Matt sneaking in with the biggest assist of all time.
Literally.
This is Vicky's favorite book from the early life of the series, kind of tied for her with Blue Star's Prophecy. Personally, I think this is much better than Blue Star's Prophecy.
I agree.
It was also Cherith's favorite book to write. Shout out to Cherith Baldry, who wrote... Did she write the last 3 or just the last 2? I can't remember what she did. I have said it in the past. Okay, so she did Forest of Secrets, and then she did Dangerous Path and this.
Okay, so she wrote like my favorite books in this arc.
Yeah, she wrote she wrote basically our favorites in this arc. Yeah.
incredible.
She also says her favorite death to write was Darkstripe. According to Aaron Hunter chat number 4, the quote from her is, "The one I was glad to see the back of was Darkstripe. He was the pits."
Yeah, real. Yeah, 100%.
I love
Dude
that
fucking
quote
sucks.
so much. That dude sucks. And then one last thing here is Cherith has also said that if she could give Ravenpaw a warrior name, it would be Ravenwing. And I love that because I remember that was also the name I wanted to give Ravenpaw as a child. I was like, I would name him Ravenwing. So I was like, Cherith, you and me.
That's such a good name.
It's such a good name. Why do they never do this? This is the thing. This might be the thing that this is the hill that I get the angriest about, possibly, is that nobody ever gives Ravenpaw a warrior name.
Well, I think, and this could be incorrect and we'll probably find out. I think I remember him saying, like, in the books, like, he does not want one. I think there is, like, a moment, his manga series, where he mentions, like...
It very well could be. I have not read the Ravenpaw manga ever, so I'm excited to visit that soon.
It's been a long time since I've read it, but we will be visiting that pretty soon.
Yeah. I'm that's it for the Erin Corner for me. You ready for sharing tongues?
I'm so ready to share tongues. I unfortunately don't have a ton, because as I found out when browsing Tumblr, The Darkest Hour is also the name of an episode of BBC's Merlin. And as we know,
the girlies are insane for Merlin.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, didn't find much on Tumblr. I did find Tiger Star in the Family Guy death pose.
Yes! Yes!
I just thought that was funny.
Yes, I'm going to look at this. Fuck.
And then somebody mentioned that I reread the ending chapters for The Darkest Hour, and God, that book has no right being that good. Also, I really hate when people who animate or draw Scourge's death don't remember that Firestar killed him using the first move Blue Star ever taught him.
Yeah.
Being her faking defeat to catch Firepaw off guard. I really like Blue Star and Firestar's relationship.
It's good.
Bibbies.
Bibbies.
A lot of animations, I could not watch them in time because my husband was watching a very fascinating video essay about transplants, like organ transplants. But I will be linking those so that you can watch them. There are several. Everybody had to animate this death scene because it fucks. So
hell yeah. I have seen this Rasputin one before. It's very good.
Cool.
Darkstripe is one of the women that swoon over Rasputin.
Oh my fucking god, of course he is. Of course he is. I went on to AO3, checked out some stuff there. There are 61 fics tagged for The Prophecies Begin, 24 specifically for The Darkest Hour. A lot of alternate universes, a lot of like looking at specific characters' deaths. So there's an AU that somebody wrote where Firestar loses all 9 lives and BloodClan takes over the forest. But a character we will meet later, who is his daughter, spoilers, like ends up having to kind of reunite the clans and do the things of the new prophecy while everything is all shattered and disparate. And I just think that would be a really cool, interesting fic to read.
That sounds really cool.
One of the things that I had mentioned, I wish we had more about what life in Tiger Clan was like. Somebody wrote a forced political marriage between Leopard Star and Blackfoot, like Tiger Claw or Tiger Star being like, no, we have to like show strength, so the two of you have to like at least act like mates.
Wow, I love that.
I just really think that's a fascinating concept.
That's such a fun idea.
Gorsepaw has 21 fics.
Hell yeah, Gorsepaw, my little guy.
Somebody did write his death scene though, and I could not bear to read it before this. A lot of folks did some really, like, what seems to be some really good angst, specifically about Stonefur. This individual, dragons_SRSUNN, did a couple of, like, fics about, like, Stonefur's death, or grieving Stonefur, and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to reading those. But, you know, there are 7 works for Stonefur and Stormpaw's, like, mentor-apprentice relationship.
Weh.
There are 211 fics that are tagged with Scourge.
The girlies love that little twink.
I mean, yeah, so this is something I feel like we may have mentioned in the Scourge ep. Back in the day.
Scourge is the Tumblr sexy man of the warrior cats.
He really is. Everyone drew this boy as so like, they gave him an emo fringe in all the fan art.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm not kidding.
They really did it to him.
Like, he was Hot Topic.
Mm-hmm. He was. His name was Hot Topic.
They Hot Topicified him so much.
They Hot Topic'd his ass.
Yeah, so that's just an observation to let you all know, like, yeah, the girlies love him.
The girlies went wild for Scourge.
But yeah, definitely suggest. I'm definitely gonna go and look at a lot of these fics later for some good crying times, I think.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is, from what I could tell, like, from all of the, you know, as I was wading through all of the gift sets of Arthur and Merlin staring at each other, generally, like, even after 20 years, this is still one that people are like, yeah, this is a good fucking book.
It's a good book.
So, I mean, I don't really have much to say about the fandom stuff except, like, people love this one. That's all I've got there for sharing tongues. Do we want to pick our warrior cat of the week?
I would love to pick our warrior cats of the week. Tell me about your pick.
I'm going to shock you.
Ooh.
My warrior cat of the week is Firestar.
Oh, our guy!
Yeah!
Firestar! You did it, buddy!
I just think this is, like, one of his best. This is an incredible Firestar book. I think he is such a well-developed character in this book that I feel like gets lost as we continue through the series.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think this did such a good job with his character, a lot of his, like, internal dialogue. I just think it was a beautiful book for Firestar. So I had to pick Firestar because, you know, he gave us that fucking banger of a 9 Live scene.
He chewed StarClan out.
He chewed StarClan out. That was the moment that I was like, oh, maybe he's my warrior cat of the week. But yeah, that's who I picked.
I love this. I love him. That's a great choice. He was on my short list, but the one I ended up going with was one that you've chosen in the past. It was Whitestorm. I had to give
it's gonna be Whitestorm.
I had to give one final shout out to Whitestorm, our king. Rest in peace. And you had the wonderful idea as a little in memoriam to Whitestorm. We're going to do a post-credits scene where I'm finally going to read that scene that I talked about from Code of the Clans. I think I have it in the Enter the Clans book, which includes the field guide and Code of the Clans. But it's a scene of Whitestorm wrangling all of the ThunderClan apprentices from, like, the period of Into the Wild. So I'm excited to give you all that, to take this episode out once we're done with the credits. But Whitestorm, live on in StarClan, guide us, our king. You were the best of us. We love you.
Fly high, king.
Fly high.
You want to take us out?
Let's take us out. If you have thoughts, opinions, questions, or memes to share with us, you can write to us at pawsandclawspod@gmail.com. That's paws as in what a cat has, claws as in the part of speech, pod as in podcast. We are also on Twitter and Blue Sky at Paws and Claws, and on Tumblr at Paws Clause Pod. Listeners who are 18 years and older can come join us on Discord, which will be linked in the show notes. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, or Blue Sky at HumbleGoat, and you can see the art that I do, including our podcast cover art, at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com.
And you can find me on Twitter at plot_twists, on Blue Sky at plot-twists, or on Tumblr at antique-romantic. Our next episode will be out in 2 weeks, where we will discuss the novella Blackfoot's Reckoning, the manga Tiger Star and Sasha #3, Return to the Clans, and the graphic novel A Shadow in River Clan. Read along by buying the books from a local bookstore or checking out a copy from your local library. Until then, dear listeners, may StarClan guide your paws.
Is every cat here? Firepaw, Greypaw, Ravenpaw, Sandpaw, and Dustpaw? Dustpaw, stop trying to push Firepaw into the brambles. I'm not blind. I can see what you're doing. Firepaw, go to the other end of the line. Sandpaw, he does not have fleas. Stand still, all of you. As Lionheart told you, we're going to practice border defense today. You can be the patrol, and I'll be a deputy from another clan who's crossed the boundary. Who'd like to lead the patrol? Don't look so terrified, Ravenpaw. I won't make you be the leader if you don't want to be. Greypaw, why don't you have first turn? If you could just pick up that stick in your mouth and use it to draw a line across the sand, we'll call that the border. Sandpaw, it doesn't matter that the line is wobbly. Boundaries aren't whisker straight, are they? So, you're on that side, walking along on a dawn patrol. Off you go, patrol! Did you really need to yawn like that, Greypaw? Oh, I see, it's because it's dawn patrol and you're tired. Well, let's pretend you all had a really good night's sleep and are full of energy. Now, what should you be doing? Yes, sniffing. Tasting the air and what for? That's right, Sandpaw. ThunderClan border marks. And what else? Yes, Firepaw, the border marks of the other clan. But only where the two borders meet. Beside the river and the Thunder Path, it would be bad news to find any sense of River Clan or Shadow Clan, because it would mean they'd crossed over from their side. So keep sniffing. Maybe not that much, Sandpaw. Have a good sneeze, and you should get the sand out of your nose. So, border marks. Border marks. Can you smell both sets? Good. But what's this? A cat from another clan has ignored the marks and stepped over your border? No, Ravenpaw, I didn't mean we were actually being invaded. The cat from the other clan is me. See how I just stepped over the line in the sand? What are you going to do about it? What? Whoa! Stop treading on my ears! Well, yes, Dustpaw, launching an attack and knocking me back across the border is one option. But is it wise to take on a cat twice your size, or a trained warrior with more experience than you? The purpose of a patrol is to assess the situation and report back to your clan leader. You won't be able to do that if your pelt is clawed to shreds at the farthest part of the territory from the camp. Any other ideas? How about asking what I'm doing? I might have a valid reason for crossing the border, especially if I'm alone. That's right, Greystripe. What do you want? Is a good way to start. Don't be too hostile. Remember, you are in the stronger position because this is your territory and you have the right to defend it. Unless I have a very good explanation for crossing your border, I don't have any rights at all. What do you think my reply might be? Yes, Ravenpaw, I might need your help. My clan might have been invaded, we might have serious trouble with prey, or we might have sickness that needs your herbs. All these reasons would mean I am weak, so you can allow me into your territory, but never out of sight. If I am hostile, then meet me with hostility, which isn't the same as aggression, Dustpaw. You've started with a strong challenge. What do you want? And now you need to give me some sort of warning. Ravenpaw, what would you say? If you're going to threaten to claw a cat's ears, you should try not to look so terrified at the prospect. Firepaw, would you like to try? Ah, yes, I see that you indicated the rest of your patrol. It's always good to let the enemy know they're outnumbered. Sandpaw, put that fire ant down. No, I don't care that Firepaw might not know what it is. Now is not the right time to show him, and he certainly doesn't need to get bitten by one. So you've challenged the trespasser, warned me that there is a whole patrol here that can take me to your clan leader if that's what I wish. What next? That's right, Greypaw. Let me, the intruder, speak. If I can't give you a convincing explanation for what I'm doing on your territory, if I don't ask to be taken to Blue Star at once, then chase me off with no more questions. Don't provoke a full-scale war. Chasing means chasing, not catching and clawing. Just make it clear that you will defend your boundaries from any kind of invasion, even one paw across the border. A good warrior is always ready to fight, but only if it's absolutely necessary. A good warrior will seek a peaceful, cloths-sheathed solution first. You will all make good warriors one day. Don't look so doubtful, Ravenpaw. You need only find a little more courage to be as good as your den mates. Your hunting skills are excellent. Dustpaw, you'd do well to watch him. Who knows, you might even lead this clan one day. Now, back to camp, all of you. And leave this old warrior to enjoy the sun in peace.